He's wearing riot gear because of a situation. That's all he would tell me. I then spoke to other people who'd been on Clarence Street who'd been pulled away from there, and they told me that a petrol bomb had been thrown at the police at the time. Now, I've just spoken to a gentleman who actually saw how this whole incident began. He told me about 4 o'clock this afternoon, between 4 and 5, there was an about 18, 19-year-old guy sitting outside McDonald's on Mare Street with his sister. He said that the police came down and stopped and searched this guy. This guy objected to it, and then that's when he said there were officers from another van who came out of the van and just started to, in his words, harass this 18, 19-year-old guy. From then on, apparently other members of the public, including adults, not just youth, started to crowd around, shouting at the officers, telling them to leave the youth alone, and apparently that is when things started to escalate. People started to throw things at police, it started to get quite edgy and quite tense situation, and then of course from then onwards, as you can see, many numbers of the police started to come to this area of Hackney, blocked off several streets around the area. We're told that also the Pendlebury estate, which isn't terribly far away from here, apparently there were 2 men in a car who I spoke to who said that there was a group of about 20 youths who all started to throw bottles at some buses that were going by. All the youths that we're talking about apparently have been wearing hoodies and have scarves up to hide their faces, and really it's just become a bit of a standoff between police. At the moment we're told, and we've seen between 30 and 40 police dressed in riot gear just march down Clarence Street to the left of the picture, and apparently there is where the incident is taking place. There is where there's a standoff between them and youth. They've been charging each other, that youth have been throwing bricks, stones, any missiles really they can find. A little earlier when I was on Clarence Street, I saw that there was some plastic bins where the rubbish had been thrown out of them and they'd been set on fire. They were just smouldering away, just almost set up as barricades to block the police's route. You can probably hear the police helicopter. It's been circling above our heads for a good couple of hours now, swooping down really low at times, so low that it's almost dangerous, it looks like. And again, it was just to help police with their positioning, to help police with the sporadic rioting that we're told has been going on in the centre of Hackney tonight.
Jane, you spent yesterday reporting from Tottenham, and you were reporting on the looting that was taking place there. From what you've just said, it seems that it's the police who are the target of these people in Hackney and not businesses.
Yeah, that's exactly it. I have been told that a couple of shops have had their windows smashed, and much earlier, like around 5 o'clock, apparently there was property that was stolen from the back of a lorry. But yeah, it does seem to be the police that are the targets. And the person who I was speaking to, who saw this all escalate, he didn't want to appear on camera for fear of repercussions, but he told me that he felt that everyone was very edgy about the police at the moment, and he said, in his opinion, that it had been sparked by the incident on Thursday when Mark Duggan was shot in Tottenham. Of course, that sparked the riots in Tottenham on Saturday night. And then, of course, more trouble last night in North London, and now tonight it seems like there are several areas of North London that are facing problems with youth who are rioting.
Graham Wetton is with us here in the studio. Graham, these pictures look like they've decided that this car is going to be set alight. We saw a youth extending into the car and putting something there and setting light to it. So the plan would be to set up roadblocks with burning vehicles.
Yeah, exactly. As you've seen before, as you saw on the camera, he's still there by the driver's door, and he tried to set fire to it earlier. He's now got something else that's a light that he's probably going to try and put in the car and set fire to it, and maybe then try and push the car towards the police line. But as I said, everybody else is watching these pictures, so hopefully there'll be some sort of police resources deployed towards them. And he should be number one on the list to have a word with, I think, when the police officers get there.
So what is going on inside Gold Command right now? Just talk us through what will be said by senior officers. Are they watching a bank of screens with a map of London, watching television pictures like this, and saying, right, get 20 officers there right now? Is that how it works?
Exactly. They'll have their own images from the police helicopter from different parts of London. There's a bank of screens in front of them, and they'll have different radio channels with different messages going out to deal with, as we've seen, Lewisham and now Hackney. And then they'll be deploying officers to the images they can see here, and on their own images on CCTV cameras. They've got access to the CCTV cameras around London as well. So they'll be using a variety of means and radio traffic, radio information messages coming from the officers, telling them what's going on. They'll be watching these images as well, and they'll be just trying to get sufficient resources together to go down and deal with this group. But having said that, this is one car on a side street, very suspect down with a car. They're going to wait until they get sufficient resources to go down and deal with this group, because as soon as they enter that area, they will come under sustained attacks.
Let's talk now to Dr. Finn Nesbitt, who lives in Hackney. Tell us what is going on where you are, Dr. Nesbitt.
The street I'm on, we've had some runs of police coming around the corner with some plastic and a shield, and then about 4 or 5 runs of some youth towards them with bricks. That's literally going on just outside the house I'm in at the moment. I'm looking from the first floor down on it. There's a lot of smoke. There's a few cars that have been smashed in, and there's one car that's been set on fire just around the corner. The helicopters, as you can hear, are quite loud, and it's all a bit scary, really. I had my camera kind of confiscated by a group of people. It was a bit stupid me being out there, but yeah, we just quite holed up, and we're looking down on it.
Your camera was confiscated by a group of the protesters or the looters or the people who were on the streets?
It was a group of some kind of protesters. Well, clearly they're not kind of protesters, are they? They're just some fringe elements who are interested in the potential for crime at this moment. But I was taking pictures, and one of them looked up at me. They were wearing hoods. There wasn't much of their face that was kind of